Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I have some fun little St. Patrick's Day cards that I want to share with you. Since St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, actually 1 week from today, I believe. So I want to show you how to make these cards. I actually found a little 4-leaf clover there in this Amazing Life stamp set. So that is the set that I'm going to be using. And it has a fun little good luck greeting or sentiment in it too. So this is what I will be using today to create these cards. Good morning, Linda. So this particular card might look a little bit familiar. I made a card similar to this back in November. It was actually a Pilgrim Hat. So this one is a little Leprechaun hat. So kind of fun. I'll show you how to make this. And then I have some other clean and simple cards. These I won't show you how to make, but I'll tell you a little bit about them. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Deborah. Hi, Shelby. So I'll tell you a little bit about these two cards in just a minute. And then this is the other card that I'll show you how to make. And this is a fun way to use your stamped images to create a little background on your card. So I'll show you how to make that one. We'll move this out of the way. So let me tell you a little bit about these. Good morning, Carol. So these cards are very, what we would call clean and simple. So they have a lot of white space on them. And basically all I did was just stamp my greeting. So for this one, I just stamped my greeting right in the center and then just stamped the little 4-leaf clovers kind of coming off the side of it and colored them in. It's very simple. And then you can just embellish them with whatever embellishments you want to use. I used some little gold faceted gems for this card and some other little embellishments. Same thing with this one. You just stamp a little sentiment. I like to stamp things off in the right-hand side of the card and leave a lot of white space on this side. But you could also stamp this right in the middle. Just a very clean and simple card to create. And then you can also put something on the inside. So I decorated up the inside with some of the other sentiments that are in this stamp set. So those are the clean and simple cards. But we are going to start with this particular card, and then I'll show you how to make the little leprechaun hat. So for this card, let me find my ink here. Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to be using the, I should show you. Wait a minute, let me close this again. So I'm going to be using the Call Me Clover. So how, it really goes with St. Patrick's Day, doesn't it? So it's the perfect color for making little St. Patrick's Day cards. It's just the right shade of green. So I'm going to be using that, and we're going to stamp the background first. So I like to open my card base up so that it lays flat. And basically all we're going to do is just randomly stamp this little image down the side of the card. And we're going to do this on both sides just to create a fun little background. And I'm using the same color ink as the cardstock. So by using, the same color ink, you get like a very subtle effect instead of a bold effect. If you wanted something more bold, you could use black ink or, something that will make it stand out a little bit more, but I like it kind of with I like using the same colors. All right, so we'll just go down the side of this card and then we will add our paper. And you can do this with any stamped images. I just happen to be using these little clovers. Okay, so now we're going to take our designer paper. So I actually have some paper from the Happiness Blooms Designer Series paper pack. So it's the exact same color that, just went out of my head, Call Me Clover. So it worked perfect. And they almost look like clovers. Not quite. So I'm going to add that just in the center. It's about a 2.5 inch wide piece. And then I cut it the exact length of the card. So let me fold this. So it's 4¼ inches long and 2.5 inches wide. So that'll just go right down the center. And then I have one of those little rectangular shapes. I'm not really sure what the size is. Let me see. I cut it from using those rectangular stitched framelit dies. So it's about 1 3/4 by 3 1/8, looks like, in case you're wondering what the size is. So I'm just going to stamp, I'm just going to stamp the greeting. Jeez. So this is the good luck greeting. Let me ink that up here. So I'm just going to stamp that on this side. And then we'll add another little clover. I got to clean the stamp off since I was using green. And I'm going to stamp the clover in black this time instead of the green so that I can color it in. Okay, so to color it, I used one of the stamping blends because these seem to be my favorite go-to markers right now. So it's the light color, the light shade of Call Me Clover. And I'm going to use the paintbrush side. And you're basically just going to color these in. And you can use, you know, any coloring tools that you have. You don't have to use the stamping blend. You can use your regular markers. You can use the watercolor, whatever you want to do. And then I'm also going to add some color to the greeting. So I like these markers because they're just easy to use. You can just guide your color where you want it to be. Okay. There. So that's all you do. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this, and we're going to add it to the card. And that's it. And then we could probably put a little bit of something on the inside. Good morning. Hi, Gail. Hi, Patricia. It was really windy here in Wisconsin not too long ago. The wind has died down a little bit. All right, so we'll just add this across the center of the card, and then we'll embellish it. I have a couple little embellishments here. We can just throw a little gold gem on there. And that's it. Pretty cute. Now let's do the inside. The inside I just stamped, well, you could put a sentiment on the inside if you want, but I just, again, stamped my little clover and then colored it in and put it on the card. This time, obviously, I didn't put a gem in there. Or you don't have to put a sentiment on the inside. You could just leave it blank, and that way you can write a special little message. So there, now we have our card all decorated. And this piece, this white piece, is just a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece for the inside. So there you go. There's a simple little card for you, along with these other cards. But now I want to show you how to make this one. So it might look like it's complicated, but it's not. So this is actually, let me bring one of these cards back here. This is actually a regular sized card. So So notice how it's the exact same width and length as a regular size card. So all we're going to do is cut off some of the pieces on here. So we're going to start with just excuse me, a regular piece of cardstock. So this is just the Call Me Clover cardstock. And you're going to need a ruler for this. So, oops, I got too much stuff here. Hang on one second. So you're going to start by just marking 1 inch. So let me do that. So on each edge, we're going to just make a 1 inch mark towards the top of the cardstock like this. And then we're going to turn this, and on the bottom, let's get some of this out of the way. On the bottom, we're going to go 1 inch up from the bottom. So I'm just going to make a little mark all the way across. Let's see, right about there. And then I'm just going to draw a line across the bottom. So let me line these up. Okay. So that's all you have to do. 1 inch on each side, and then turn it and do 1 inch off the bottom, and then make a line across the bottom. Then you're going to take your paper trimmer, and I just put a new blade in, so this should work. We're going to cut through both. Notice how I have both, the whole entire card here. We're going to cut through both pieces. So I'm just going to line this little mark here up with the groove in my paper trimmer. And then I'm just going to cut down to the line that I drew on the bottom. Okay? And then I'm going to do the exact same thing here. And then I can put this back in the paper trimmer if I want, and just cut to there. Just cut to this part. Or I can just use my scissors. Or I can just use my scissors and just snip this off since it's kind of small. Okay? So I'm just going to do that because it'll be quicker. Well, not really quicker. It'll just be easier for you to see. So you just want to cut these pieces off. And that's it. That's how you create that hat. Now, you can use these extra pieces. Where did my card go? Here it is. You can use these extra pieces here to cut out the little heart shapes. If you have a little heart-shaped die or a punch, whatever hearts you have, you can use. So now all we're going to do is round the corners. All right, I'm just going to use my little punch to round these corners. So you can use any corner round punch to do this. And I'm doing both at the same time. And let's see if we can sneak that little guy in there. Doesn't want to go in there. And it's a little harder on the sides here because you have to try to get, there we go, you have to try to get in there. Bend the card a little bit, there we go. Okay. Move this out of the way. So now you have your hat with the rounded corners. Now this piece here, right across here, should be 3.5, because remember we're using a regular size card, so technically this is 5.5 across here, and this is 4 1/4 this direction. So this piece should be 3.5. So you were just gonna add a little black band across here. So this piece is cut at 3.5 inches long, and it's about 1 inch wide. You can also use a 3/4 inch piece. It doesn't have to be 1 inch. If you want it a little, if you want the band a little bit smaller. And it'll cover up that black line that we drew across there. And then to make this little embellishment that goes on the hat, I basically just have a bunch of little hearts that that have little dimensionals on the back. So I just arranged them on here. Just on a, this is crushed kiri, in case you're wondering what color that is. But I just arranged the little hearts on this piece and then put a little gem in the center and then adhered it to the card. So it's pretty simple. And it's really cute. So if you need a kind of a unique St. Patrick's Day card, this would be the one. If you want to do something a little bit different. It's a pretty simple card. What do you guys think? Pretty easy? Here we go. Let's put a little gem in the center. And that's that. All right, now we could pop this up on the card. So I'll add a little, couple little dimensionals on the back here. And we'll pop this up, and then we can also decorate the inside of this card. Now, all the instructions for these cards that I'm sharing with you today are out on my blog. So if you missed the instructions, or if you just want to go back to them, you can find them out on my website. So there is your little card. Now on the inside, you can add a little, you know, sentiment, or you can just decorate up the inside. So this piece, oh, I forgot how long I made this. This is 3 3/4. So this is 3 3/4 inches long. And then I think I did 3 and 3 inches wide. So this is 3 inches wide, 3 3/4 inches long. Again, you can just stamp, you know, a little clover there, and then we can add a little sentiment. Same type of thing. And then just color it in. So pretty cute. And it's kind of fun to put together little holiday cards like this. So I always like making cards that are simple and then making some little unique cards. So this is kind of a fun one, and that little hat template can be really used for anything. It works great for the Leprechaun hat, it worked great for the Pilgrim Hat, so I'm not sure what other holidays or occasions we could use it for, but we could come up with one. Be a nice little magician hat too. All right, so this just goes on the inside like that. All right, so there are the little Leprechaun Hat cards. There is a video also out on my website if you need to reference that down the road, but you can always reference this video as well to create these. So there, now you have some fun little cards for, oops, here, let me put this under here, cards for St. Patrick's Day. So I hope you guys enjoyed these little cards. Do you typically make St. Patrick's Day cards? Some of you do? Yeah. Yeah, I have, we are Irish, so I do make some cards and send them out every year. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed these cards, and have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you guys again next week. Take care, everybody.